Your bottoming timer is done.
Thank you.
Oh, Trixie Mattel.
Katya.
Ooh, Dr. Jake. Hello, frenemas, it's me again. Today I'm going to be talking about pain with Trixie and Katya in I'm a real-life gay doctor here to clarify medical quandaries and inject your daily dose of queer culture. I'm a doctor, but not yours, and nothing in this video is medical advice. And if you'd be so kind, take a second to subscribe to my channel and like the video, would you? I promise you'll want to come back for more. Let's get on with it.
I wore a brace on my wrist from scrolling the telephone.
That's tough.
I think what they're referring to is carpal tunnel syndrome, which is awful. It's overuse of the hands such that the carpal tunnel, which is a tube that has nerves in it, gets inflamed and then pushes on those nerves. A lot of people with carpal tunnel have chronic pain because when you push on nerves, you have pain. And of course, they can also get numbness in their hand as well. The treatment for carpal tunnel is a brace. Here's the thing though, you're only supposed to use the brace when you're doing the activity that stimulates your carpal tunnel. You're not supposed to wear it all the time. But the problem is, if the activity that's causing you issues is scrolling on your phone, you're gonna end up wearing it all the time. Swipe left, swipe right, swipe side to side, and
You know what I should do? I should hold with one hand and then for the other hand I have a stick with a finger on it.
That stick joke hits hard because there is a condition called Cipa where you don't have the nerves developed correctly to feel pain. They can put their hands into a fire and then be like, it's all good, everything's fine. And then they just burn their hand off and they'd be like, it's still all good, everything's fine. Now the worst thing is one of my friends had a patient who had that condition and oppositional defiant disorder and was a child. So basically mom would say, don't put your hand on the stove. And then he'd put his hand on the stove. So dealing with that kid was rough, bitch.
I stubbed the toe. I stubbed the toe and I swear to you, I thought it's broken.
I think the pain of a stubbed toe may be one of the worst feelings in the entire world because it's your fault. And you're just like, oh, I did this. If I had just been a little more careful, maybe I wouldn't be dying right now. Okay, it's not that bad, but it does feel that bad in the moment.
Wow,
I like
John.
to glue down lace fronts.
You ripped it off and the skin came off.
I ripped the skin off and I've done it multiple times.
On the lower layers of skin, there are stem cells. And so if you rip off the top layer of skin, which by the way is mostly just dead skin cells, it'll grow back. However, you can have injuries, and the main ones that I think of are burns where you damage those stem cells and your skin can't grow back. In those cases, and I'm oversimplifying this, plastic surgeons can do what's called a graft, where they literally take some good skin and put it where that skin was to make it look better. I want to talk about stem cells because I think they're really cool. Most of the living cells in your body have a certain number of times that they're able to divide before they just die. Your liver is an exception, and the other exception is stem cells. Stem cells are immortal. They have the ability to divide millions of times, and they are in many of the tissues of your body, although the skin is the big one that I think of. However, one of the most important places that we have these stem cells is in the bone marrow, and bone marrow stem cell treatments are actually becoming huge now. Two of the most important diseases that we can treat with bone marrow transplants are sickle cell disease and leukemia. Now, sickle cell disease primarily occurs in those of African descent. It makes your blood cells misshapen. Yes, it makes your red blood cells misshapen. Yes, it does make the cells misshapen because of the hemoglobin. It can make the... I'm simplifying it, Bennett. Go away. Help! That matters because the blood cells need to travel through the various passages in the body, the blood vessels, to get to your tissues. However, if you transplant normal bone marrow, you can make the person produce normal red blood cells. Now, leukemia, it's a cancer of the blood where your body is producing white blood cells, but it's not doing it correctly. It's producing some white blood cells that are replicating endlessly. However, by replacing the bone marrow and giving you somebody else's blood type, your body's new white blood cells can now attack the leukemia and get rid of it. It doesn't recognize those white blood cells as being from your body. It's pretty amazing, and it doesn't work 100% of the time, but when it works, it is a miracle, and I'm so happy that this therapy exists. If you've had a bone marrow transplant, I would love to hear about your experience with it. Put it in the comments.
I looked like I was wearing mandarin oranges as a headband.
Do you like to eat them?
They're only 65 calories. Oranges are very filling and very sweet and delicious.
While we're on the topic of fruit, I talk about nutrition a fair amount with my patients. I say don't drink juice. If you want juice, just have a piece of fruit. Not only will you get the hydration and sugar that you would have gotten from the juice, but you also get all the fiber from the fruit. And the fruit is going to be much more filling than just juice. Your body's like, juice, send it on through. But when it's an orange, like an actual full orange, your body has to work to digest that. So, moral of the story, if you're thirsty, don't drink juice. Have a piece of fruit and a glass of water.
3 oranges for only 180 calories.
Hold up. Wait, rewind. Rewind the tape. No. Hey, that guy just ate the peel. Yeah, that dude ate the peel.
Your
He ate the
emotional
peel.
pain.
Ugh,
Oh,
so
God.
gross.
I mean, imagine this. What if I took a machete and hacked off your leg at the upper thigh and held it in front of you?
Losing a limb is actually incredibly painful. Many people will have what's called phantom limb syndrome. Essentially, even though the nerves in your leg are gone, your brain knows that the nerves were there and is still wired to feel them. Now, how do we know that this is the case? Because children who are born with congenital defects, like not having certain limbs, don't have this happen to them.
Some of the worst pain I've been in has probably been DragCon related. Corset for like 8 hours, shoes for that long.
Let's talk about shoes. High-heeled shoes can actually up your feet really badly. My medical school also had a podiatry school, and we had this entire exhibit about how high-heeled shoes mess up your feet. Now, I'm not going to tell you not to wear high-heeled shoes, mama, okay? I watch Drag Race. You know. Don't wear them for 14 hours a day if you can help it.
How can we forget it? My wig. It was so heavy and had on so long that I got a horrible migraine, went to the bathroom at DragCon and puked.
A lot of headaches are actually related to head and neck stress. It's possible that Trixie had a migraine, but it's also possible that she had what's called a tension headache. And the best treatment for these is just Tylenol or ibuprofen and rest. But if you're doing an 8-hour stint at DragCon, you don't really get to rest.
I live in a ground level downtown apartment and drunk college boys keep peeing on my bedroom window in the middle of the night. How do I get them to stop?
Or piss right back, bitch. Piss right back. Piss right back. You save up a few weeks of urine, super soaker. I mean, it'll shoot like 50 feet.
Some women actually are able to squirt their urine if they use their fingers in their urethra the right way. Are you able to do that? Comment below. What am I even asking for?
I do not understand why a woman would have a baby. You can be in labor for 25 hours.
You can be in labor for 36 to 48 hours.
That's the most sensitive part of your body.
Yeah.
And now you're pushing a football through it.
And this is why we have epidurals, where an anesthesiologist puts a needle in your back and puts pain medication in it to help you not feel your baby coming out. Thank goodness. My mom is going to hate me for telling the story, but she told me the first time that she had a baby, that was me, she told them, I want a natural birth. And so she did the entire birth without any epidural, without any pain meds. She didn't do it a second time. She got the meds.
Of course, before the baby comes out, so much comes out. The husband cleans it up.
People do often poop themselves while they're giving birth. It's not glamorous. It's actually pretty gross. After the baby comes out, you have to get your placenta out, and that's basically just a big bag of blood. It's gross.
Gaga's song Born That Way was about home births. It was about kiddie pool in the living room.
Let's talk about home births too. I respect midwives. I think they do an important job. But when that pregnancy goes south, you want to have a doctor, an obstetrician there to help you. You want them right there so that when that fetal heartbeat doesn't look perfect, they're ready to intervene immediately if you need it. Not a fan of home births.
Like, I don't think nature assigned women to lay on their back and do this.
So I'm not an obstetrician, but I've actually seen midwives work, and they actually go through a variety of positions with women who are laboring. Sometimes they'll have you crawling on hands and knees, sometimes they'll have you on your back. I mean, honestly, whatever gets you to get that baby out is the right thing to do.
You're like a cave woman.
This.
That's it.
It slides right out. You can do this. You go.
And then the other hand.
Like a shotgun baby.
I will say, if you're having anal sex,
Oh, we didn't
and it
talk about anal
hurts,
sex.
you are doing it wrong.
Anal sex can be uncomfortable, but it shouldn't hurt. If you're having pain, you need to readjust, use more lube, figure out a different position. Something is going wrong, and it can be fixed. That doesn't mean you don't get to have anal sex. It just means that you need to work on making it work for you.
Okay, Brokeback Mountain, for example.
The spit.
I said it.
Also, I'm assuming these men weren't douching.
And if you want to know more about douching, you can look at my video about anal douching.
If I get tapped on Grindr, 12 monkeys.
As far as I know, you can't get STIs through Grindr, but what do I know? I'm just a doctor. Any software engineers in chat, please let me know if the source code from Grindr can give you gonorrhea. I'm Dr. Jake, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and goodbye.